What's up guys, I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never and welcome back to another one of my videos. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Alright, so we finally appear to be getting some bullish momentum for Bitcoin. As you guys can see, we are back above 90,000. We're at 90,200. And more importantly, you can see that we are above the 200-day moving average. This is a very important level to get back above. Now, there are a few things I need to point out, and the first one being that the stochastics are still extremely overbought. I know a lot of people are feeling great about the market, but the reality is that eventually these are going to reset. And just take a look through Bitcoin's history. What happens when they reset? We usually have at least some form of a pullback. Now, does it mean that we have to have a massive pullback? No, it does not. But I'll tell you what, the ideal scenario for Bitcoin would be if price action can continue pumping for a little bit and then we start to actually flag out above the 200-day moving average. If we see this happen and we see price action come down here and then bounce off of the 200-day, that would be a bullish retest. And oftentimes a bullish retest is what leads to the actual breakout. We can go back and we can look at the last time Bitcoin broke out. The 200-day has been major resistance. We got rejected off the 200-day, rejected off the 200-day, rejected off the 200-day, rejected off the 200-day, rejected off the 200-day. Finally, price action actually bounces above it and then it comes down and it bounces off of the 21-day. And then once it gets a bounce off of the 21-day, it's basically gone. And then we have a parabolic move from there. We're looking for something similar to happen. We want to see a bullish retest off of this level. If we see a strong close up here, but then the next few candles just get nuked and we drop right back beneath it, then we aren't bullish. It is very important for us to actually remain above the 200-day. So keep your eyes on this level. So far, so good. Now, the reason that I do think the breakout could be legit this time, though, is because of the weekly time frame. And if you guys have been watching my content, I've been showing you guys the weekly for a very long time now. And I've been talking about how bullish I am on the weekly. And the reason I'm super bullish is because we have had a perfect support and resistance flip. Previous resistance now becomes support. We basically came down here and bounced off of the previous all-time high. We didn't quite bounce off of it, but we were very close. And in the past, we know that Bitcoin front runs very important levels. It's not uncommon for that to happen. But we had a support and resistance flip, and then the stochastics are extremely oversold. Not to mention, if you add on the M2 global liquidity, you can see that we are completely breaking out. And I've been talking about how the M2 global liquidity usually front runs breakouts. You can see we started breaking out here. Bitcoin broke out afterwards. Started breaking out here. Bitcoin broke out afterwards. Started breaking out here. Bitcoin broke out afterwards. We are now exploding yet again, but we hadn't seen the Bitcoin breakout. So there is absolutely a chance that this is legit. Now, an important level to watch on the weekly is actually the 21-day moving average. I'll go ahead and delete the daily flag so you can see it better. But this level is currently sitting around 92.4K. Now understand moving averages do move with every candle. So in the next week or two, it could be a completely different level. But the 200-day is very important on the daily and the 21-day is very important on the weekly. We need to see the weekly get back above this level. In general though, very nice move for Bitcoin. I can't complain at all. What's awesome to see is if you look at a project like Turbo, it's getting a very strong bounce. Turbo's back to a $180 million market cap. And you can see that we are getting very close to retesting this previous level. This is the level that I've been saying we need to see Turbo reclaim, 202876. This was previous support in the past. We need to get back above the previous support level. However, it will now probably work as resistance. But what's very bullish about Turbo is if you look at CoinMarketCap, you can see the volume is actually 122 million. It's up 183% in the last 24 hours. This right here is fantastic to see. If we're hoping that this is the actual macro breakout, then we need to see a massive amount of volume flowing into the market. So the fact that meme coins are getting a lot more volume is a great sign. Now, I want to be clear though, with Turbo, you still have to understand that this is going to be heavily connected to Ethereum. And right now, Ethereum on the weekly still looks like a falling knife. Yes, it is getting a little bit of a bounce, but it doesn't look near as good as Bitcoin does right now. However, there's definitely hope for Ethereum in the future. The reality is that the Fed should be ending QT, which should be bullish for risk on assets. You have to understand that last bull market and last altcoin season was during quantitative easing. We have been in a period of quantitative tightening since then, and quantitative tightening is not good for risk on assets. So again, once that finally ends, we could see a massive spike for altcoins, especially something like Ethereum. And the reality is that Ethereum is the leading altcoin. So if we get an Ethereum breakout, we could see a very nice altcoin season. But regardless, I am very impressed with Turbo right now. This volume is extremely promising. I know a lot of people are just looking at price, but to me, the volume is even more impressive. This is exactly what we want to see, especially for a lot of people who are starting to doubt Turbo. This shows that the project is far from being dead. Now, if we look at the Turbo X account, not a whole lot has changed. They're still posting on here every single day, which is awesome to see. But it's not like any major news has actually come out that's going to affect the project. Turbo is just getting a very nice bounce because the rest of the market is bouncing. But again, that's exactly what you want to see. So yeah, in general, just keep your eyes on Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. I still really like Turbo and I think it's a fantastic project. I genuinely believe that it's going to do very well this bull run, but we need to see Bitcoin and Ethereum actually confirm breakouts. So far, so good. All of that being said though, if you guys are interested in joining a like-minded community and getting in a project super early like Turbo, then I also recommend taking a look at my Discord. As a lot of you guys know, we're in the markets every single day, and we've been making huge gains in here this entire bull run, and market conditions will turn around again. They already are starting to. Make sure you guys are positioned in high quality projects. As a community, we've already called 6 different 200x projects over the last year. So if this is the kind of community that you wish to be a part of, you'll find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I'd love to see you guys in here. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are feeling about Turbo. If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.